Hello everyone, I am Professor Amit Vyas, Computer IT Department from Dr. Subhash Technical Campus. Today we are discuss about the topic is DMA. DMA means Direct Memory Access. So what is the DMA? We can show that one description. The transfer of the data under programming I/O is between CPU and peripheral devices. In DMA, interface transfers the data memory through memory bus. When the transfer is made, the DMA requests the memory cycle through the memory bus. When a request is granted, it means when the transfer of data for the DMA request of the memory through the memory bus. When the request is granted by memory controller, then after DMA transfer data directly into the memory unit. So this is one short description: transfer the data under programming I/O between CPU and peripheral device. How can you communication between programming I/O and CPU? So now the next is so what is the DMA controller? I/O transfer directly between memory and device will be free in for CPU for the other tasks. It means the directly communication between interface and I/O device through the memory. CPU initializes the DMA controller by sending the memory address and block size number of words. We can show that one CPU. Here, one bus will be request and bus will be granted one signal we are used. In CPU, we used read and write operation and address bus and data bus. The data we can transfer through data bus based on the address bus. So, if the BG signal is unable, then go to the high impedance state. So what is the BR and BG? So BR is a burst will be request in CPU and CPU we can granted the signal is called the BG signal. So now the next is some short description of the DMA. The DMA controller needs the usual circuit because the interface to communication between CPU and I/O device. We can show the DMA will be used for some of the circuit. This is the DMA controller. We can show that here. So here one address register, word counter and control register. One is control logical unit. Then this all the tasks, the bus will be request, bus will be granted, interrupt. Interrupt is a one types of signal, DMA request and DMA acknowledgement. This is the I/O device. One I/O device to directly access of the CPU. The data bus buffer and address bus. So what is the address register, word counter and control register? Address register and address line is directly communication between memory unit. So memory we can directly access for address bus and address register. This is the interface, or this is the internal bus. What is the word counter? The word counter register is specify the number of word that must be transferred. It means how many number of word we can transfer. Then after control register, the data transfer may be done directly between the device and memory under the control of the DMA. It means control register is control of data transfer from directly between device and memory unit. So this is some sort address number of register we can show that. Now the next is when the bus grant, if input is 0, the CPU can communication with the DMA register through the data bus to read or write operation in DMA. So in DMA, request and bus grant signal will be 0. We can show that here if the bj equal to 0, that time you can perform read and write operation in a DMA. When bj equal to 1, CPU relay queries the bus and DMA can communication directly with memory by specific address and active RD or WR. So if the bj equal to 1, then CPU perform directly some of the address. So now the next is the DMA is first initialize the CPU. After DMA start the continue to transfer the data between memory and peripheral unit until the entire block we can transfer. The CPU initialize the DMA by sending the following information through the data bus. CPU will be initialize some of the condition. Which is the condition? The condition is the starting address of the memory block where the data are available for read or where the data will be stored for the write. It means read and write operation we can perform. The word count, which is number of words in a memory block. Then after control to specify mode of transfer such the read or write operation. The starting address is stored in the address register. So this is the DMA controller. It is used for the address register, word counter and control register. First of all, DMA we can provide the request for the CPU, then provide the acknowledgement. If the interrupt is occupied, then solve the interrupt. If the one is importance here, BR and BG. If the bus we can provide the request and provide the acknowledgement signal BG. Then suppose you can BG will be 0, then communicate between read and write operation. BG, when the BG equal to 1, then is occupy the specify the address of active between RD and WR. So this is the DMA controller. Thank you all of you.